adventure.
His fast gun for hire heeds the calling wind.
This is high noon and welcome. Are you prepared to draw? I hope so. And I don't mean any of that liver-lizzied, gun-slinging stuff. And I don't mean any of that arty stuff. I'm here to do that. You all will just draw together, become family, friends, help each other, support each other, all that stuff. This is a place to have a good old time, friends and frolic, and all that stuff. Okay? This is it.
Well, hello, everybody. Hopefully we are all doing good today. Now let me just get my headphones in and go into Discord for anybody that would like to come on and chat. Okay, so there we go. We are in Discord. We have page 1 up. We hopefully will get 90, all of it done, preferably all of it done today. Get on to page 2. And such. Let's see, let's pop up the chat here. Let's make it live chat. Okay, so background. We are going to work on panel 4 first here. Okay, so we got the books here first. Okay, so let's grab this color as well. Try to make sure we got everywhere that we need to for the book, the pages, which is what this is for. Here are the pages. And then I think, yeah. Next color is the outside of the books. We're just doing some basic color. Everything's got to save at least inconvenient time. Do 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 do. Make sure that. Yep. The audio streams can't work the right is lower than the recommended thing. We recommend you use audio stream bitrate of 128 kilobytes per second. I don't know why things want to keep going lower than thing. I can't get anything working right lately, it seems. Oh. Okay, so it looks like we are done with that. Just trying to get outside the books any extra. The paint accidentally painted outside the books. Extra. Now to get everything that's inside the books. Oh, we'll have to take that out at some point. Right there. Wonder if everybody can hear me all right. And again, that doesn't seem like anybody's watching at the moment. Okay, so let me come back in here with it a bit smaller. Eraser. Get a little bit more of that white. Okay, so that looks good. But I can okay, so there is there. So what's that for the AB? Okay, this little binder here. We need to also put some color for pages in there too. We might go up a layer to the page layer and put it in same spot. Okay, so to the spots that need the color, and I think we've got most of them. Okay, so it's the 80. We'll grab the 82. Now we're just going to add it in here. That way it looks like there's something in there. Oh, and we got to color the pen eventually too. So many things to color and not color. And we even live on YouTube. I should be, but let's see. Yeah, it's saying I'm live. I'm going up against Risey. Risey's awake and streaming, it seems. Okay, so this is starting to look a lot better already. Let's open this. What is frame for his, I guess, degree? And we'll take off the brown over the edge here. Hey, Ulrich, how are you? Good afternoon. Or maybe good morning. Depends on where you are, I guess. So hopefully today we will have all the 90% of everything done on this page, except for maybe shading. I'm just waking up, and you know how everyone runs on California Tacos. Well, I'd have a problem if everything ran on California time here. We'd be way behind the times. Everybody'd be just getting up here, and it wouldn't be noon here. Thus, this would not be the high noon show. Hey, Rebellious, how are you? So I had a pretty good stream over on Odyssey last night, coloring in what's his name? Bullet, my character Bullet. Oh, that's not it. Let's see whether we can get it. Right there from last night. Also, the recall failed. Apparently, 60% of the total votes counted is considered an election. So they didn't count all the votes in. and they declared him the winner. They only got up to 60% and said, "Oh yeah, he's the winner." Sounds like something fishy going on there. Something doesn't smell right. Hey, Space, how are you? How is the painting going? Are you glad to be getting back into painting? Happy to be back in the trenches. Oh, that's good. Yep, as soon as the polls closed down, they said, "Oh, the recall failed. We got 6% of the votes in. That's enough." Everyone in California is pissed. Yeah, I guess so. I guess there's going to be like demanding a recount or whatever soon there. Oh yeah, I gotta do more with their scans and stuff. Okay, so here we go. Here's how it went. Larry Elder got over 2 million votes, and he got the majority vote in California as the replacement. Even in Sacramento and the state capital says he's Republican, and yet the recall failed somehow. Well, it failed because they didn't count out 40 other percent of the vote, which, who knows, maybe they didn't even count some of the, they probably forego counting specific people, the ones that said, yes, recall them. Okay, so I think, okay, so everything was looking tidy in this room. I'm just gonna get the desk We got got to get the desk looking good. Okay, so there seems to be an extra line here. I'm gonna have to take out that line. One news station even said, "Well, we got to call the votes from San Francisco, and that's we got the votes from San Francisco." They certainly want to make people not believe in the voting system, don't they? Yeah, and yet somehow the recall got turned into a call about the proof and not about Cali. Yeah. Well, probably because of all the measures he was taking. Tough what our election's about right now, too, because of vaccine passports and all that. Yeah, I do too. For sure. Over. That's Monday, that election. I hope the party that I'm going to be voting for gets some seats. The PPC. I'm not voting for any of our major parties. Well, this one's sort of a major party now, but not in the same way as the others. Don't be surprised you have if you hear my state go into lockdown for some random reason, not related to angry czar. I mean government for being recalled. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's going to be just like here, some stupid reason to go into lockdown. Some unscientific reason. They say they follow the science, yet they don't follow the science. They follow the majority or the populace or whatever. They don't try and persuade them, tell them, yeah, this is the science and show it to them. Okay, so I need to still color the pen in here and do, I guess, the hallway here. And outside, what I'm thinking is windows. I'm not sure whether they're windows or not. Please follow the science. The phrase follow the science is just politicians using the word for some crazy religious zealots justify something stupid as God's will. Okay, so the door is done. A lot of times it's not even crazy religious zealots that are following quote unquote a different science. We got a cool professor here too. The professor and Marianne here on Gilligan's Island. Literally, there's South Park Ep4 where in the future we use the word science in place of God as both swear and praise. Yeah, because unfortunately, to a lot of people, science is God nowadays. So it doesn't surprise me. God made science, yeah. Well, the science is just studying stuff, doing experiments, you know, that repeatable things, So yeah, God made science, but he did what he didn't. Because he made us, he made science. It's just unfortunately sometimes people gotta learn, and unfortunately sometimes there's different interpretation. Actually, not to the science, but to the facts. Like I heard a joke, or sort of a joke, goes like this. These group of scientists, they took some frogs. They got them to jump, the frogs. They measured how far can this frog jump, and the frog jumps like, I don't know, 40 centimeters or something like that. We'll just make up something. But isn't science based on facts? a lot of times, but it's also based on the interpretation of those facts as what to see with my thing. So, okay, and then they're like, okay, let's take off one leg and see how far these frogs can jump. And okay, the frog, they scare the frog or whatever, and the frog jumps like 30 centimeters. Okay, and they go like, let's take off another leg. So they take off another leg and they scare it and they see how far it can jump, and it jumps 20 centimeters. Finally, they take off a third leg to do the same thing. Find out it can only, and it jumps like 10 centimeters. And then they finally take off the final leg to see how far it can jump. And they're yelling at it, scaring at it, and it's not even moving. The conclusion is after you take off 4 legs of a frog, it goes deaf. Now, obviously, we know that's a bit of a joke because, it's more after you take off the 4 legs. He can't jump because it can't jump because, it's got no legs to jump through it. But, they come to the faulty conclusion. Somehow it goes deaf because it's not jumping. Well, it's not jumping because it's got no legs, you fools. Science is like a large ship. It can't turn without the group agreeing to go left, right, or straight. Too big it is, so it takes a bunch of smarties to decide. They took off the legs, of course they can't jump. Sometimes scientists interpret data wrong. So we are on a completely other note. I have access to a total of 8 pages from John for Snowdrift. Give me a sec if you want, and I will show the. Well, I'll get this panel here done. All at least the background stuff. making it look all nice and all that. And we'll download them and show them to you all if you want. Hey, Trusty, they had a great debate on an episode of Northern Exposure. Facts versus truth. Was either consistent? Okay. And what was the outcome, Trusty? Or was either constant? I mean, good. Good morning. I do hope we can get, like I said, most of this done today. Not all of it. I'd like to move on to page 2 next week. I don't think they decided one way or the other. Okay, so I think we're going to have to take out. Oh, there we go. People are above the background, but we will get everything done here. Trustee, do you think in a few months, we'll say 6 months or so, that you might be free to draw a comic book? 6, 6 or 7 months. Because I'm thinking I might, as long as I have the money for my campaign for Snowdrift number 2 and Canadian Shield number 2 and Snowdrift number 1. I might get you to pencil up one of the next 3 books, probably either Canadian Shield or Flame. Might go with the Flame. I missed Dillard's stream. I hope he gets free time so I can catch him on again. But he had a stream the other night, I think. I saw something from him come up the other day. Yeah, thinking of having you draw it up and then maybe have um, E ink it. I know you can do both, but just trying to spread things out a little. I think then I will be working on something for tonight. Well, we'll see. I'll reach out and ask, and if you're not, Cross. I was so angry about the election that if you had high noon, the day after, I would have been highly tempted to use the wrenching judgment without permission. Ooh, craziness. Uh, that's how angry I was. I just imagined me going full madman without anyone committing heresy. Uh, you know what? Uh, slip here seems thick in places, not consistent. It looks a little better. Okay. I just would point and accuse anyone of heresy. Okay, so that background's not looking too bad. Let's brush up Nancy here. The heretics barely. Well, we both know what would have happened if he did that, so I guess it's a good thing I didn't have Hainan that day, and you were doing something that you shouldn't. Hey, Elric. Okay, so there's that. Oh, we're gonna have to come along here and get right in there for the thing. How many pages will Snowdrift be? I think it's 23 in total. Uh, Ulrich. Oh yeah, so okay, let's get this blue done and then let's get those pages downloaded so you guys can see them. Okay. Oh, 22. Ulrich. Okay, so I'm not sure whether you guys have seen 5 and 6 yet or not either. I think I've shown you up to 4. Will Snowdrift issue two? But will Snowdrift and issue two can have the same type of pages like the first one, or will you go low grade? As long as I go with the same printer, it should be the same type. Um, the only I am trying to think whether I can try and find somewhere in Canada for about the same price. Uh, but no matter what, I will try and get the same um grade of paper. Hey, John. And yeah, anybody also that wants to hop on and talk, can. Got Discord open. Because out of all the comics I bought off Indiegogo, besides the cover of Cyberpunk, yours has the best cover of page paper. Well, that is good. Well, I didn't want to go stingy on the paper. I hope I put the right one. Page. This page 7. Yeah. I still haven't gotten past page 4 of Red Rooster. I was too angry. Yeah, I got to, I don't know. I'm not sure where I got into it. About a third or a tenth. I'm past page 4, but alright, are you finally enjoying this cool weather? It's not too cool up here yet. I guess it's a little cooler than it was a couple days ago, but yesterday it was nice and warm. Download. Okay, so we got all the recent pages downloaded. Let's see. Okay, where'd 6 go? I would love to join you, Rick, but I'm very busy watching black people react to classic rock music. Okay. Let's see. I downloaded number 6, didn't I? But I think it downloaded as it. Okay. Hello? Hello? Hey, John.
Hello.
How are you?
Hey, John. I gotta turn off my radio. I have you on the radio. Hey, John. Can you hear me now, Rick?
Yes, I can.
So what's going on? What's new?
Not much. Just slowly getting page 1 done. Right now I'm showing off the other. I've showed off to page 4 to people what you've done. And I'm just showing off pages 5 through 8. And I
It looks
said,
like Elric already got a sneak peek of page 8.
yeah, because I had when I brought him up, it was on that one. I went over it. I didn't realize it quite at first. Then I went back to number 1. So there's
Good morning, Elric. He says good morning again, Dillard.
So there's page 5. The snow.
Yeah, show the pages.
That page 5 of the snow and ice, or the snow being slowly.
Like, I know you were saying that takes place over a period of years.
Yeah.
So I decided to change the weather up and the backgrounds a little bit.
Yeah,
stuff would change over the years. You know.
Yeah, that makes sense, which is cool. I don't mind that in the least. So that yeah.
And I know you wanted her from a different angle, so I put her at a different angle at the very end.
Yeah.
Go to the next page.
Page 6, of course, present day, so to speak, and we have Rick Arrow coming out of his cabin and finding Nancy on the ground. We're just like, show them, show them. Did you like the clothing that I chose for Rick for going out in that weather? Or?
Yeah, it looks fine to me. It looks kind of like, it looks almost like he's going out to snowboard. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just figured, have them all covered up, not everybody knowing exactly what he looks like at first.
Yeah, I have it so that he hasn't even done a real proper face reveal yet, because he's going to be super sexy when you finally reveal his face.
Yeah.
He's basically going to look like a Native American Fabio.
So there we have page 7, where he's placing.
I have her in that pose where she's crawling. He's frozen stiff. Yeah.
And
that wasn't hard to do. I mean, that wasn't easy to do, Ray.
Yeah, I know. I know that very much. I tried to do it. As you probably saw, because I had pages in there with my version. And I'm not sure whether you looked at my version too much.
I did. But I liked, because when we were going through the book, and we were or going through the script, and we were thumbnailing it. I don't know. I think that some of the ones that you chose to do were not like the angles were not dynamic enough. Like this page in particular, I like that you had her fist closing instead of opening.
Yeah.
So I decided to put that in here instead, because I had the one that I did, her hands were opening up a little bit instead of the claw. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were opening up and softening up, but that didn't make enough of an impact, I think. So I know you had put in your inks that she was gripping, closing a fist. And I was like, oh, that's better. So I put that in here instead.
Yeah. I forget what I thought of it. I thought, sort of muscles contracting as, she's, sort of thawing out.
No, I get it. Yeah. Because if you're like suddenly woken up, I guess, you know what I mean? Like you would have some sort of almost like a reflex knee-jerk reaction, like a contraction instead of like a flop,
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I got him all nice and close, looking at her, trying to listen for her breath, and then giving her a real sensual melt-to-melt.
And then, of course, our scene, page 8. The only thing I was going to say is you seem to have him in flannel in these couple panels here. He doesn't seem to be in the flannel in this last panel.
Yeah, well, I only actually draw the flannel lines when he's very close to the camera.
Okay, so it's
that stuff. It's I mean, I can go back and put the flannel lines if you want, but it's more of a coloring thing than it is a line art thing.
Yeah, well, it's just I was thinking so I could do the coloring, like keep it consistent for the flannel line. If you can, it's not too much trouble.
Oh, it'll be trouble, but I'll go back and do it. No worries.
Oh, I guess that might mean first couple panels of page 7 too to show the flannel.
Yeah, like see when he's far away, I don't really put the lines on there, but then when he's closer, I put the lines on.
Yeah. the closest thing to intimacy in cross comics. For the moment, hey, you got to remember the Elric. You're probably going to see a little bit more intimacy, say in Insecto at times, and the Flame, because both those characters are married.
Are we going to see Shaft?
I don't think so.
There's no pleasing Elric.
So yeah, these are really looking good. And of course, you saw the three. I think you saw the three pictures of the log cabin in the page for it, because it is actually supposed to be the cabin that you see from the Canadian. He's supposed to be actually living in that cabin that you see in the Canadian Shield #1 that has the secret base underneath it. Now that gives away,
I recall.
that gives away way too much. Maybe, I don't know about his character. Not that.
Are you trying to tell me, Rick? Is this a roundabout way of you trying to tell me that Rick Arrow is a long, long lost descendant of the Canadian Shield?
No. It's just he's part of it. He's like, well, I guess you would,
because
know.
That would have been awesome.
That could end up be that could be that would be neat. I never thought about that, but that.
Or he's the great grandchild of the bully that kicked out the Canadian Shield from his tribe.
The Flame, my character, the Flame, has a wife. He's not married to my character Insecto, but my character Insecto has a wife, Elric. Which will be book 3 and book 4 to come out. My character, the Flame, has 2 children, twins. Ones that are not identical, because one's a girl, one's a boy.
As they do.
Fraternal twins, I think it is. And yes, the ice pun was, the hot woman who's pretty chill. And yes, the ice pun. What?
He says, does this native Fabio have royalty-free? Rick Arrow does have royalty-free. When Rick Arrow and Snowdrift are in this cabin together, this is the music right here. This is it right here. What? Telling you, Rick, you're missing out on a golden opportunity for romance.
Well, believe it or not, I shouldn't say too much, but eventually those two will be romantically involved.
Oh my God.
Rick Arrow and Christy North.
Snowdrift got a little jungle fever, huh?
Well, it's not going to be...
Don't call her Christy North. Oh my God, that's such a porno name.
Well, that's her name in thing, Christy North. Well, after, that's her new identity. Oh, great. Now Cross will get a copyright. Okay, I just wanted to clear things up because I was like kind of weird paint, weird pairing up. Oh wow.
Ow. So, in what style are you going to be coloring this? Like in the style of the Canadian Shield book?
I don't know. Well, I'm getting, as you notice, just getting things in for now. You know, the Canadian Shield. I don't. I'm not sure whether. Well, I haven't really decided. I'm not even sure coloring styles really. Uh, well, I can't see a lot of stuff coming out of panels or whatever, smoke and all that, and especially with you creating the black gutters automatically. That sort of
Well, you don't
limits.
like black gutters?
Well, they're nice at times for sure, but you know the way that we did things too is different than the way that for this drawing of this book is a little different than the way that Ephraim's been drawing up the other book. So I would say,
In what way?
well, like sometimes he's been drawing a lot of borderless panels, like
Oh, I know what you mean.
like
He's using more of a '90s approach.
yeah. How dare you?
Because the way I'm doing this book is if you wanted white gutters, all you have to do is make get one of those lasso boxes, just make a long line, and then just white out the gutters and just move that line around so it's all symmetrical and it's all white
Yeah,
gutters. Because this is kind of like very matter of fact, like an old like almost like an origin story for like the first Batman or the first Superman.
yeah.
Like
Well,
millions of miles away in Krypton, they send their only son. That kind of deal.
yeah. As you see, with this is like page 9. I think it's supposed to be page 9. The Canadian Shield, and this bottom panel has this last panel has no gutters, so I did the whole gutters
Well,
being
the last panel is a full page. Yeah, that's the last panel is a full page splash, but they just leave the background. And, you put the images over the background.
yeah. Well, I did that. I made the whole page like that because there was no borders on it. I just decided, okay, yeah, let's make the whole page spread and with just these other panels over top because he had already done that.
Mm.
So
The reason I make my pages uniform is because sometimes, like for instance, I'm also doing the same panel layouts for Mavericks, the
yeah,
Ashcan for Mavericks that I'm doing.
yeah,
Because the thing is, the guy will sometimes he'll put in a page here or take out a page there, and I don't want them to be heavy on one side or heavy on the other, because like I don't know for sure whether or not the page that I'm currently doing is going to be on the left side or the right side, so I don't know where to stack the stuff. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So everything has to be uniform.
Oh, are you asking who did the art for the Canadian Shield #2, Elric? This is Ephraim Crespo.
E.A. Crespo.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll be right back, Rick. I gotta go inside real quick and grab something.
Yeah. And I've got a couple more pages even from him, but I've got to sort out a couple things. I got to have him get in contact with me because I think I'm missing a page from him. I think I'm missing page 10. Things have gotten convoluted. And, so I'm going to be slowly working on things for stuff like him uh, as we go along. The coloring, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I was thinking of putting a haze around in the border of the panels, but I'm not sure whether I want to do that. He's the guy who did that awesome trading card that you're going to get. No, that was Eric. The guy who did the trading card was Eric Ninatowski. That's not a request. And you're still sending me two. But send you two. Don't I have to send everybody two? And not that you're not going to, but the only people getting that card are people A, who sign up for my pre-launch and then buy a physical copy of either the Canadian Shield or Snowdrift. Has to know. I think with you repeating yourself so many times in the whatchamacallit, the chat there over these last few months, people, since you saw that, people are going to know that you requested. But I guess they don't know whether I actually do or not. So I will buy. So will I buy both? So uh, look at those complex navigational equations on the chalkboard. This guy would be invaluable to the on an Arctic expedition, says John. Yeah, too bad he. Yeah, oh yeah. And yes, what color? What color should we make his shirt? Anybody got any suggestions for the color of his shirt? Greenish beige, like a mauve. Okay, let's see whether we can figure that out. Maybe a blue. Okay, does this look right, Dillard, to what you said? need to take the weight off the collar. Grab our skin tone again. Use under this guy. And put it on his neck. His shoes should be brown. Yeah, I can see that. I was going to go with a brownish belt. I guess we can just make those the same color. I say him because his suit was. Hey, Joshua! So people who are dorks wear beige colors. No, just people who are professionals. Okay, so I guess we should, no. You should sell Shade his book. His book. Is that his book right there, or I say you should sell Shade this book? Okay, I'm not. I know that I've heard the term, but I'm not sure exactly what it means. Uh, until the reveal of the current year, then use gradients. Are you talking like put like a fog around the side of the inside the panels, John? You said he's professional, but hence he wears beige. That makes him a professional. No, not at all. Okay. Okay, so there's still more to be done in this panel in coloring the people. He's got you there. I'll explain right now when I get back. Okay. Okay, so I'd say we got. Okay, there's a few things to be done here still. A few things to be done here. Definitely a few things to be done here. Let's go down to panel 6. We'll put up one above thing. Actually, you know what? Let's. Sure, we can. Hey, Mom. Right. Yeah, Ulrich, I agree with Tim Shid. So, grab the background color in here. Come here and. Okay, so. So it's not actually Hainan. Immersion ruined. Hey, it is here. Well, actually, technically, it's past 1 here, so. Um. So I guess I'm into what, Central Time now for Hainan? If only we could get like, like what? I guess 5 people, 5 or 6 people, to do quote unquote Hainan, and you pass it over to the, like 1 o'clock, and you pass it over to the next person. Start from the Canadian East Coast and go to the American, well, American and Canadian coast. Okay, we could just go, or we could just vote GMT as queen of the world, and then we'd all have one time zone.
Hello, I'm back.
Hello.
Rick, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Alex says, if I did High Noon, I would call my segment High Noon, the California Time Edition. Well, that would be sort of the point, Elric. Well, I guess yours would just be more.
All right, I'm gonna share my screen with you, Rick. Give me a second here. This will take me some time, so don't worry about whatever. But I'm gonna show you what I mean by doing the cell shading for the periods of time that take place before present day.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so let me just go underneath this layer. I'll make this whole background a gray. There we go. Let's get this polyline. Here. We'll do this wall a slightly darker gray.
Yes. Now let me show you. Let me go.
I'm sorry?
I'm just thinking out loud. Okay, watch. I need to go to here. Take out Studio and Discord. Okay, so there we go. My mom's wondering how your daughter is, John.
Okay, you see how I have. Oh, she's doing much better. She's. Well, actually, we had a little bit of a scare not too long ago. And it was my fault. Because the thing is this, like, I don't like being woken up in the mornings. And it's not that I don't like being woken up, it's just that I have a very hard time waking up when I'm not awake, and I haven't had enough sleep.
Yeah.
And I'll talk frequently while I'm in this state. And I don't know what I said or what I'm saying.
Uh-huh.
Like, I'll conversate with my wife. She'll tell me, "Hey, are we gonna do this today?" And I'll be like, yeah. Well, what about the gas? Yeah, I'll go get gas. Like, but I'll be answering, but I'll have no recollection whatsoever.
Convenient.
So what happened? Right. And this has gone on for about 10 years. She knows this. And so, but the thing is, she came to me in the morning and said, "Hey, can you watch the girls? I gotta take a shower." And I said, "Yeah, sure, whatever. Yeah." I have no idea what this was going on. I was asleep. And while I was supposed to be watching the girls, apparently, one of the girls fell off the bed, the baby,
Yeah.
and hit the floor. It's a tile floor.
Ooh,
So it was a big deal. We ran her to the ER and all that stuff, right? I wasn't too worried because she was consolable. Usually when a kid falls or a kid gets hurt, you kind of have to judge how long it takes for them to calm down. That'll give you a good gauge on the severity of how much they got hurt.
Yeah.
And what happened was she was able to calm down right away, like within 2 minutes, with me holding her. Not even my wife having to give her booby. Just with me holding her, she was able to calm down within about 2 minutes. So I'm figuring it's not a big deal. We take her to the ER, get her checked out. It wasn't a big deal. They couldn't find anything. They even X-rayed her because they couldn't even find any abrasion on her skin that was the point of impact, right?
Yeah.
I don't even know where she got hit or hurt. And neither did I. So we're like, okay, whatever, it's fine. So after that, we've been kind of, real wary about what she's doing and where she's at. But thankfully, she stopped being a horrible, horrible crybaby. It's almost like it fixed her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's good. Oh, so this is what I'm talking about. You do like normally what you would do it on this, right? You would snatch this color up, this gray, this dark gray, and you would do like a gradient, right? You would find wherever the it's gonna be that and you do from there, and then now you have shadow coming in. You don't do any of those tips and tricks when you're cell shading. You don't do gradients. You don't do none of that. You leave it as it is, and you basically do flats with a highlight and a low light. That's it.
So
Kind of like
basically,
how a lot of studios animate a cartoon.
yeah. So basically, I'd be adding like one main color, one darker. Let's say for what I'm doing here, we'll take the same panel. Let's see.
Yeah, one shadow, one highlight. Like here's the a little bit brighter of a instrument panel, so I make those a little bit shinier.
Like so, like a. Let's get up to the same panel. So for saying with mine here, where the thing is, I'd take that blue and maybe I'd have a darker blue somewhere for shading and a lighter blue for some sort of light hitting it if there's any. So only a max of like 3 colors per color.
Yes, exactly. And it's going to be really difficult because the thing is, it's an art form in itself to do cell shading because you have to be very selective with where you put these shadows because you're only working with 3 colors.
Yeah.
So it's a little tricky, but it's possible. It's doable.
Yeah, I could see me doing that. I could see that being done for the first, 3 or 4 pages that are supposed to be in the past.
And because it's in the past, you don't want to go to any extreme. You don't want to go to any pure whites, 100% saturation reds, blacks. You want to keep it all in the middle tones to make it look like it's not current year. There's no bright sunshine coming through the window. It's all almost like a median. Here, let me finish out this page here real quick. Well, not real quick, but you know what I mean. I'm just pretending I'm coloring in some instrument panels that don't make no sense.
Yeah. Although I'm going to be transferring somehow your instrument panels into making it so it's somehow like a home. Because I thought that thing that you're working on now is like
that's your business.
I thought that was like a clock.
Okay, let's get these instrument panels over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll do them like a green, but not really like a almost like a whitish gray green. Then we kind of wash all the colors out. You know what I mean? We'll make these like a pink, or pinkish red. We'll make these cassette decks like, I don't know, gray. Because everything doesn't have to be like very vibrant and different from each other. What's important on this page is her face and that paper she's reading.
Yeah.
Everything else is just background, and you don't want to draw attention away from your main. Which is kind of like how Disneyland, everything that's all of their inner workings, things that are mechanical, water systems, piping. What they do at Disneyland and Disney World is they painted a color called no-see-um green, which is a color that's very, very hard to notice. It's really easy on the eyes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you'd probably just mistake it, seeing as it says green.
Yeah, and in your memory, you remember it as like, oh, it's like some greenery back there,
Yeah, grass or whatever, bushes.
It's almost like an even lighter tone of like the Vietnam olive drab green.
Yeah. Alric is wondering how the buckler is coming along.
Oh, same as yesterday. What
Which is, since I wasn't there.
the fuck? Yeah, you were.
No, I
Oh no,
wasn't
you were in
there.
the chat.
Yeah, oh, you mean on Vic's channel? When you were on Vic's channel?
hmm
I didn't stay
Yeah,
that long.
I got 9 pages left to ink on or the letter on it.
Oh,
All
that's
right,
good.
check it out. So now when I do the character, the monito, like the snowdrift girl, I color it from back to front, right? Meaning when you're coloring a person, you want to do their skin first because their skin is the first thing, then their clothes because the clothes are over the skin, then any accessories on the clothes. So I'll get
Yeah.
my lasso tool and I'll pick a color for her skin, something like this, some mid tone, right? Because I got to do a highlight and a low light, so I want to pick the middle color of the skin.
Yeah.
Then I'll go and I'll outline her skin, like so. Now this I have to be careful because I don't want to color over the background. But on the hairline, I can go straight through like that because I'm going to be coloring her hair after, you know?
Yeah.
Coat, I'll color after. Neck, I'll color after. So all that is going to be skin. I'll plop that on there. That's the skin tone. And you know what? Let me make this a little darker just to illustrate the point a little better. We'll make it more to the orangey. There we go. Like that, right? So that's a decent skin color for her. Same thing right here. Take everything that's skin, color it. And then here I got to be careful because I'm drawing over the background. So along this line, I got to be real careful. And then just like that. And you see I messed up right there. Let me go back and fix that.
Well, how do you cut? I forget how you
So now her
cut.
skin,
Uh, if you got to like a
Alt. You hold down Alt.
hold down Alt.
Yeah.
Uh, Alric says, speaking
All
of
right. Now the next
Disneyland,
thing after her.
Dillard, how do you feel about starting to pay for getting into the Fast Pass? I
Oh,
guess
I don't care anymore. I don't ever plan on going to Disneyland ever again.
no. Why?
No. A couple of
They-
months ago, I took my daughter there for her birthday. We had a real bad experience. It was just a nightmare. Everything. Now from here, on the skin tone, right? You can either right here go ahead and do the shading and the highlight, or you can make a new layer and move on and just do flats, right? I'm going to go ahead and do the shading and the highlight right now. Now, when it comes to your color wheel, okay, this color wheel, you see the color wheel I'm showing?
yeah.
Do you see the dot on the color wheel?
Yes.
Okay. Now, this is her skin tone right here, this
Yeah.
dot, right? Now, you always want to go in a C pattern. So if you want to go a highlight, you want to go up and to the left, like a backward C, right? You want to do this number, this curve,
Yeah.
just like this. So the highlight is going to be up and to the left. The low light is going to be down and to the right a little bit. You want to make that curve.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll snatch her skin color. I'll go up and to the left. That's going to be her highlight. Let me minimize this. Okay. And I'm going to take my lasso tool, and let's say I'm going to do the highlight now. So let's say that the light is right there on her head, right? It's coming from the upper left-hand side, the light source.
Uh-huh.
So I'll do her forehead like this. I'll be real careful. Whoops. That's an eraser. That's not the actual color. There we go. So there's the highlight there. It's going to be on the bridge of her nose. Like that. She's going to get a little bit on her cheek. A lot on this side of her cheek. A little bit on the upper lip. And on the chin. also on the chest part of her neck, not directly underneath the chin because that's going to be shadow. And then all of these fingers, and not the thumb, only the top part of the thumb. There, but all of these fingers are going to be getting
Would
light's
they
going to be hitting them.
would they be blocked from the cup?
No, she's holding the cup sideways. The cup's not in front of her knuckles. The cup's parallel.
Yeah. Well, that's why I was thinking it might block the light.
Nah. And then down here, the light's going to be hitting the top part of her fingers, but not the, just about halfway like this. And remember, this light, she's not under like one light source, right? This is like morning time.
Yeah.
So it's not like she has one light on in the house and that's it. No, there's light coming from everywhere. There's sunlight coming in from the windows. It's bouncing off stuff. So these highlights and lowlights aren't going to be very severe. It's
Yeah.
not like you're in an interrogation room when you have one light on you, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, so then after I have that, then I'll go on my little C marker there, and I'll go to my low light, right? This is my shadow. So I'll go to here to her face. I'll put inside of the ear, some shadow, like that. Underneath this cheekbone here, a little slice of shadow. Underneath the eyebrow, some shadow. This one too, just a little bit though, a lot less. Under the nose, under the bottom lip, and alongside the chin, but also dipping down because there would be a shadow being cast by her jawline.
What about
Like
just underneath the ear there?
Oh yeah, the whole back of the neck too. Under the ear and the back of the neck, all through here. And that would be, unless you want to get really detailed, that would be about it for the face right there.
Yeah.
Then you move on to the hands. You want to keep these midtones. Just keep, like this, maybe a slice like this, a piece down here. Move over to the other hand.
The
You
bottom,
want
I
to
think
do
the
the
bottom
fingers,
would
but
be.
yeah, but you don't want to put the line on the fingernails because the fingernails are going to be a lighter color, right?
Yeah.
So you just want to kind of do it like that. And you're not going to make the fingernails a different color. These are fine the way they are.
Oh no! I was
Okay.
just thinking that almost that whole arm would be in.
Yeah, and
This
almost the
shape.
entire arm here. The only thing you would leave light is the rim light on the bottom. Kind of like that. And that would be the extent of the coloring you do. Like that is colored.
Yeah.
Not counting the lips, because you would do the lips a different color and the eyebrows, right?
Yeah.
But
Because
for
the
the skin tone,
eyebrows.
for the skin tone, that's finished.
Yeah. That's usually somewhat how I do it. Although sometimes I use the airbrush for my shading or my tinting.
That's what I'm saying. You save the gradients, the airbrush, which causes a gradient from dark to light. Save those gradients and those lights and the
Yeah.
overlays for the book that's taking place in current times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let's see. Let's move on now. We did the skin. The next thing would probably be the hair. I guess hair is closest to the skin, right?
Yeah.
So I'd outline the hair, and this is a regular medium brown. Because she's a brunette, right?
Yeah.
I do a little jaggedy edge here along the hairline to make it look like it's fading in. Then around the ear, real careful. There's the hair.
Now I
And then the
usually color
eyebrows.
the eyebrows the same color as the hair. And
See, what I would do is I would color the eyebrows. The eyebrows to me would be the same color as the low light. Because your eyebrows are normally a little bit darker than your hair. So if the eyebrows are going to be dark brown like that, that's the same dark brown I'm going to use over here to create the low lights on the hair. See what I mean? Then I go and I snatch a different color for the hair highlight. See if that works. And then I do a couple of different, they're kind of like sporadic, right? It's not going to be one big block.
Yeah.
It'll be a bunch of different individuals, kind of like this. Maybe another one here. couple here in the shape of the bun, kind of contouring to the shape of that bun. There we go. That's the hair. The hair is done. Then I'll go over and I won't go pure white, but I'll go close to pure white for the eyes. Color those in. And then I'll go to the same color as the skin. I'll go and I'll do a color picker on the skin. And then I'll just transfer the bar on my color wheel over to red. And kind of use that color for the lips. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh. Ulrich says, I'm learning a lot. Thank you, Dillard.
Mm-hmm. See, so now that you have that done, the next thing would be her shirt, because it's under the coat, right?
Yeah, and that's red.
And let's say just for the sake of what I'm doing here, I'm putting her in a lab. I'm gonna put her in a shirt. Let's say her shirt would be, she's a geeky dork, so I'll put her some sort of a green, like a mauve shirt. And again, I just got to be careful around the neckline because I already colored this neck, right? So I got to be careful around here. But once I get to this point, I can just go. There we go. Now I'll add a little bit more. Down here, where's the rest of the shirt? Oh, it goes all the way down. Okay. Down there. Shirt's green. Then I'll go and add the highlight and the low light for the shirt. Now, you don't have to do everything every time. So for this one, I'm only going to do the low light. So I'll put a little bit right here.
Wouldn't there be a little bit of a, low light sheer shade, right? John?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would do that there, and I would do it like this. This is kind of how I would do the low lights. Whoops. And this is about it. That's all I would do for that shirt. Now the next thing for me would be the lab coat that she's wearing. So I would go to like a beige or even a blue and go almost to white, like a grayish blue white.
Yeah.
And that's going to be, now I got to outline. Now we're getting to the point where we got a lot of stuff filled in, these blank areas. We have to be careful around everything now because I got to go around the skin. That's already finished. Be careful of the shirt because that's already finished. And then I got to cut in and then be careful of the background because the background's already finished. And back to the face. And there we go. And I will continue over here.
Joshua says he equates the color green to being retired.
What happened?
Oh, Joshua says he equates the color green to being retired.
Retired?
Yeah, through your life, after you're done work.
Okay.
Ulrich says, did Dillard equate the color green to being a dork or greenish beige? I think he did.
Well, people, ever since that movie Meet the Parents came out, and it was really popular to say that geniuses like to choose the color green. Everybody now claims their favorite color is green.
I claimed my favorite color was green way before that.
I doubt it.
You can ask me, Mother, or anybody who knew me.
There we go. Okay, so now that's taken. Now we have the base color for the lab coat, and I can go up to do the highlights, and that's what I'll do. So the highlights on this lab coat are going to be along the collar here, right there. There we go. Along the shoulder pad, that would definitely be a highlight. And then go to the other side. This is not going to have as many. It'll still have a bunch, but it won't have as many because it's on the side facing away from the light. And there's another
Yeah.
highlight there. This whole lapel would be white. Not pure white, but whiter than what we have. Okay, let's see. We have the contour of her breast, so probably like this, and then along the hand, all the way up. That would be white. Maybe a little bit more white here on the shoulder. And on this side, right here. There we go. Then the underside of her sleeve. That would definitely be a highlight because it's facing that side. And then I guess here like this. And then all down here, this lapel on this side would be pure white. And then this side of the sleeve, because this side is kind of facing away. This one's not, so this outside would be pure white. Now we can go to the low lights and do the inside of the sleeve. The inside of the sleeve would be very dark. And even though we would want to do a gradient, right, darker to lighter, we just pick one solid darker color and just leave it like that. Same thing for over here. There's not going to be that many low lights on this jacket because it's a white jacket. Put some over here on the side. And then underneath the lapel. Right there. And then right along the breast area, that lapel would cast a small shadow. We'll make that darker as well.
Would the
And
cup
that's about it.
Would the cup cast any sort of shadow?
No, we're not going to be getting that crazy because this is just a simple shell shading.
Okay.
We're not trying to do really heavy drop shadows. We're not trying to do reflective shadows or reflective colors. Like, even if it's a piece of chrome, we're going to make it just two tones. It's going to be gray, light gray, dark gray. We're not going to put any reflections in it. This is simple cell shading.
Yeah.
I mean, in reality, everything would have a reflection, right?
Yeah.
All right, so then the next thing after that, we could do her cup and her paperwork. So let's do her cup. What kind of a color cup would she have? What's her personality?
Well, probably back then, I don't think there was too many colors of cups they had. So I was, and especially from work, or home, I was just making a whitish or an off-white.
Okay, so let's go with a beige, right? Like a brownish white, because we already have a bluish white for her coat.
Yeah.
So we'll go with a brownish white for her cup. So let's do the base color. We'll do the outline of the cup. There we go. Then we'll get the highlight here. Do that. And then the low light. Cup is finished. All right, and then let's go to her paperwork. That would be a manila folder, correct?
Yeah, well, I guess so. That's what you made. I was just thinking paper. It was supposed to be just like a single piece of paper letter.
Oh.
But
Oh, I put it in a folder. That's my artistic license.
yes.
Now we gotta be careful. Let's go in and make sure we did this right. Add some more. Okay, that looks about right. There we go. Now from here, we can also grab a slightly darker tone of it and put that around her fingers while it's still highlighted. You just use a regular pen. That way you don't draw over her fingers and just add some shadow there where she's holding it.
Yeah.
And then maybe even a nice long shadow for the bend of it, like this. It's kind of folding a little bit as she's holding it.
Yeah.
And then, bam, that's done. We do the highlight for that. We go up here. We can do a little rim light just along the rim of the thing like this, just to show. Perfection. And then we'll just add the papers, and the papers can be close to a very white, and we'll color those in with the lasso. I like to color everything with the lasso.
Yeah, I usually do too, although I usually use the fill lasso.
There we go. And this panel is colored. What do you think of this panel, Rick?
Good, good, for sure.
Does this look like an acceptable coloring job?
Yeah. Now I'm gonna have to do something similar with the way I've done things. I've just got to figure. My main thing is
You don't have to. You don't have to change it. But I'm saying this is an idea for, like, you know,
yeah,
because what you've already done is you already essentially put all the flats down. You can
yeah,
change them to whatever you want.
yeah. Well, I like the color. Well, I'm trying to do some foreshadowing and some. Well, no, maybe not foreshadowing. Or maybe a bit of. I don't know. I'm trying with my colors. I'm trying to show off some stuff from that's going to be relevant later on. I guess is the best way to, or people might make a connection later on with the colors.
And like I said, now if you wanted to make this, like you wanted to bring this, you can do this exact same thing, because people do this, right? This is how some people color comics.
Yeah,
But if you wanted to make it more modern looking, you come over here to the blend tool,
yeah,
and you can just do this number. Like you can grab this, because remember, this is all one block, right? It's all one thing now. It's all one layer.
Oh, you combined all the layers?
Oh, I never separate them. I never do, unless I'm going to be doing something really dynamic. I don't separate the layers. So then I come in with this fill tool and I just haze around that, right? So like, oh, like I blend in that line. So now you see on her face now, there's a gradient. I'm creating gradients
Yeah. Hmm.
to make the line smoother, to make the coloring look a little bit more smooth and professional. Smooth out this line under the nose, right there. So now it gives it a softer look, more feminine.
Yeah.
And then you could, if you really want to, like, I don't know what kind of a girl she is, but you can come in and, you can give her eyeshadow and stuff like that. Whoops.
Yeah. I know there was makeup back then, but I'm not sure how much women would have used it a lot.
hmm Give her some rosier cheeks, whatever. Then go in with a real severe highlight and go in, make a little dot on those cheeks to make it a little shine. A little dot on the nose, a little dot on the forehead. You can change it up however you want. Like, see, I don't
Yeah.
like that. She looks like a hussy.
No, she's definitely not going to look like that. if she has makeup on, it's probably very little.
Hmm. But there's all kinds of stuff you could do. Like you could even go after this is all done. You want to make it look like morning. You go and you grab a rectangle from the corner and you cover the whole panel just on the inside. But you want to make sure you get just on the inside of this line. You don't want to be going over this line. You want to make it right inside
Yeah.
that line because you're going to be going over the top of the colors.
Yeah.
And you're going to be going over the top of the line work. And then you add some sunlight coming through the window. You know, you can do that. Make your brush real big, and be like, here's some. And you see if you keep going, you'll see you're coloring over the black line as well. But you don't want to go that severe. You just want to get a small gradient and come in from the side and be like, whoop, there you go. This is some morning time.
Yeah, I sort of, well, I think you noticed, I was doing that with the a nighttime scene with the blacks. I created
Mm-hmm.
a big black block over the frame, and then over all the colors, and then opacited it down.
Yep. If you want to go back through here, you want to grab some of this black. You can layer selection from layer, and you can even get the line work that you're drawing on,
Yeah,
and you do that color hold where you can take the dark part of her skin, make it even a little bit darker, and then that's how you do the outline of her skin. You know what I mean? So when you take this off and you look at it, you'll have that rim light kind of going on. So you erase essentially some of the black line to make it less severe. You got to be real selective with that.
yeah,
Yeah, sort of like that. And it gives it a little bit more of a modern look as well. But what I'm saying is save all those tricks and doodads and whatever for the pages where it's modern times,
yeah,
and just leave it like this. Leave it cell shaded like that for your
yeah. Very
actual book.
minimal lighting and shading
Hmm.
is basically what cell shading is.
Yeah.
What about the background? Any coloring, minimal shading or lighting in the background, or for what you're talking about, or
No, the background's done. No, what I did for the background would be essentially that's it. Because
okay,
you don't want the background. You don't want the background to stick out. What you want to stick out, because when you start putting a color, like if I were to go over here, right, and go like this, and do this instead, that would stick out way too much, right?
yeah,
It's like now I'm looking at this green dots on the side instead of looking at the character because it's drawing attention away. You don't want the background to be like a distraction. It's
yeah,
background for a reason. It's in the background. It's not meant to be in the foreground. This picture, even though this is a picture of a background, this is the focus. So you can make this as vibrant as you want because this is the focus.
yeah,
This is not the focus. This, you want this to be like that. A nice light green.
yeah.
Blending in. You want to blend in.
Oh, but
Fade away.
you made it. He made it, but he can't hear. Why can't you hear? You should be able to hear. My mic's on. The desktop audio's
Well,
on.
he's very old, Rick. Don't shame him for being old. Well, he's very old, Rick. Don't shame him for being old. Yeah, the volume works.
Yeah. Somehow I think he's just teasing. Turn up the volume on JP. Or unmute it. Although saying unmute to him when he can't hear doesn't help.
He says, okay, that worked. He turned up the volume. But do you also see, like, if I were to get rid of this line work, you see that?
Yeah.
Every color is touching another color. There's no blank lines, there's no mistakes. When you work from the background to the foreground like that, it comes out perfect.
Yeah.
Like if you look here, even on the, like, there's no white background. Every color is on top of another color because remember, behind everything is just a slab of gray.
Yeah.
On top of that slab of gray is another slab of darker gray. On top of that, these are all these colors are on top of the colors before it.
Yeah.
So you're not going to have any kind of mistakes, no white backgrounds, no little hairlines that are showing kind of fuzzy around the edge of a figure. None of that's going to happen if you do it. And you saw this is a pretty fast way to color, right?
Yeah.
Like I started this at what was it, 10:30. It's now 11:14.
Yeah.
And you add lines back in, look perfect. And I guess if you wanted, you could do this. You could, you know, here. You know, make these gutters white. Though I don't know why you'd want to.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't sure what I was. Well, sure what I was gonna do with the gutters at first, because I was thinking, making it look like ice in the background, making the gutters look like ice or whatever. But maybe I'll just keep them black, keeps it sort of consistent. I think I
I
have.
think you're thinking too much there.
I think I have. I think I have a few months to figure it out. I've still got to color all your stuff, and I'll probably have all your pages to me before I have all the pages of the Canadian Shield #2 to me. So
Hmm. Also, if you do this white gutters, then you have to worry about, are the actual borders of the gutters going to fit inside the page? Because when you have black gutters, the black gutters can extend as far as you want to go off the page, and
yeah,
you don't have to worry about where your page actually lays when it comes to the crop lines and all that stuff. The black
yeah.
can just extend as far out as you want it to extend to.
He's hoping to. Malin says, John, are you making Rick do better?
No, I'm just giving him a suggestion about cell shading.
Yeah, well, I had asked what it was specifically because I wasn't quite sure. But it's just, hopefully I can remember from this time forward, that it's basically the
Hmm.
main color, whatever your main color you want to use, plus a light version of it and a dark version of it.
Hmm. That's it. And as you can see, it works. Like if you're to look away from this page, like don't look at it, just look at it on your phone. Like look at this on your phone and see how small it is. Like bring up cross comics on your phone and play
Yeah,
it, and you can see on the screen, like you can see how far away that looks and how little that looks, but it's still crystal clear. You can tell exactly what's going on. Nothing's muddy, nothing's messy. It's like wow, it's a cool little scene there. It looks great.
yeah. Yeah, I definitely think I will. Well, like I said, I've I do a version of that usually. In this case, it's just trying to make sure doing the solid version of the lights. I tend to. I don't mind. I haven't minded. I've gotten into not minding doing the shadows in big blobs or whatever you want to call it, like that. But my lighting, I've always seemed to want it to use the airbrush tool, but it's just sometimes it looks good to me with I guess like that, and sometimes it doesn't.
Well, the airbrush tool for the highlights is a slippery slope because then everything starts to take on the same kind of hue,
Yeah,
and it looks a little unclean if
yeah,
it's overused. And the thing is, if you're when you're looking at it like this, and you're going from this part of the coat to this part of the file to this part of the hand, you're going to eventually overuse it.
yeah,
You get when you get too lost in the weeds, if you know what I mean.
yeah,
You can't see the forest because of the trees. You know, you're too close. You got to step back and look at the big picture. If you step back and look at the overall picture of the whole page, that right there is perfectly fine. It doesn't need any more.
hmm,
But again, if you wanted to go in and do even more detail, you could, right? Like if I wanted to go in here and really dial everything in and try to make it look as perfect as possible, I could do that. I can mimic the line of the jaw here and follow it up. And because when I did it very rough, very fast.
yeah,
But you can make it kind of perfect, and then you're like, you know what? I know from the ear, the base of the ear, the tendon that goes to the collarbone is here. So maybe I can put a little bit of a divot right there, and then another divot on the back side of it like this. You know what I mean? And you can even go back and do this number, and you know that there's another hole right here, anatomy. So you can put another dark shot right there. Go and grab that light, the highlight area, and put another highlight right around here. You could do that, and then another one right there. And does that make it look better? It might give it more dimension. You can see her neckline now.
yeah.
You can see her neckline, but does it really add to the picture?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. That's why I didn't do it in the first place. It's correct. It's correct anatomy. It's right there, but does it add to the picture or does it just extra stuff to make it look a little bit more messy?
Yeah. Well, it doesn't. I think it. Well, actually, I think it takes away from the picture.
Let's take it away. Now and then again, like if you wanted to do like a David Finch style, you're like, okay, well I have this now, so let me go ahead and bring this brush style down to 20. That's what I normally work in. And then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna bring in this here. I'm gonna bring up the collarbone there, put some shadows here, like that.
Well, that's stuff you might be doing if I was paying you your big rate, but we're not
You know
going
what I
the
mean? Like,
super
okay,
deep.
we have the fold of the collar here, so let's put some shading into the fold to kind of show the contours of where it's folding. We'll put a line here because of the stitching. Put a block stitch here with a cross on the end, bring it in. Put some extra stuff here. No, you don't need this. This is just garbled mess.
Well, it's not necessarily garlic mess, but you want stuff like that, you might have to pay extra.
And plus, she's a lady, and she's not even necessarily a fit lady. She's just a regular scientist lady.
Okay.
She's not muscle. She don't need this kind of. She's not gritty. She's not
Yeah.
she doesn't have a tortured soul and a past. She's not out in the streets like Rorschach trying to get even. She's just a regular broad. Just give her a regular neck. She's fine.
Well, I would say she's fit, fit. But you're right. She's more regular. She's not like Wonder Woman or anything like that.
Yeah, who wants to be Wonder Woman anyway? John, send me the bait and tackle drawing. Absolutely. You want that in a PNG or JPEG, or how do you want that?
Rick, send me some stuff to any particular.
Something that can be laser engraved.
But yeah, well, we didn't quite get. I would like SVG, but JPEG is okay. Can you
What
see that?
happened?
He says he would like SVG, but thing is okay. So we didn't quite get done everything we would have liked to today. We did get.
Yeah, I use Clip Studio. I actually cannot make a scalable vector graphic on Clip Studio.
Yeah. Rick, I need something to mock up on the card holder and some coasters. Um, but yeah, I was just trying to say we did get this panel all the way done. Well, almost all the way done. This panel is looking better. Two panels are looking way better. This one's looking a little bit better. We needed to get some color in the scarves and beards and hats on this one, and then clean up some of this one. But I guess we'll end up doing that Monday. And he says that's okay. Would be PNG be better? Because then you could just probably send an outline of everything instead of colored or whatever. White background. I don't know. So I guess that's going to be it for today. Well, thank you for coming on, John. And thank you for sharing all that information with everybody and myself, of course. Anything you would like to share?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, ask Mallet. Ask Mallet if I know he has to convert them all, but does he? I need his email to send a PNG. I can't send that over like a DM or something. Can you ask Mallet to provide us with his email in a DM?
Uh, yeah. Well, I think you just did.
I want you to do it.
Mallet, John would like you to send your email via DM. He says I'll Twitter it to you.
Nice.
Oh, and since you are with being almost done the book, are you going to be closing it out once you are sending it
I'm gonna
off?
be closing it out. I'm gonna be closing it out once I send the last. Because I'm gonna leave it open while I'm fulfilling.
Uh huh.
But as soon as I finish fulfilling, then I'll close it out.
Uh huh.
I don't know. I might even leave it open as a store. Because I'm gonna order some extra copies regardless.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll catch everybody later. Guess there's nothing going on for the weekend. Oh well, Sunday we have our catch the RPG here. It'll be Marsupial's character
Oh, it's
with
gonna be the very very last RPG we're gonna be playing for like a few months.
yeah. Well, it might take a week or two to do the whatever campaign, whatever dungeon we're doing, but with Marsupial and some NPCs that Metal whipped up for the rest of us to use, since everybody else's characters has either gone on to the new continent or left the group because
Or the
they're
upper
due.
room.
So we'll catch you all later. Remember to stop by Sunday afternoon. Bye for now. God bless everyone.